Don't let fear and shame hold you back. Hi, I'm Leanne. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I say this with love, 33. Thank you for visiting. If you're a first-time visitor, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. If you're a returning visitor, thanks for being here. I want to talk today about something that I really thought about today as I was sitting in a spa. I went and got a facial today and gave myself some self-care. So I'm feeling like all refreshed in my face and glowing and refreshed. And I sat around the pool and I listened and watched so many women throughout the day and just observed and different seasons of life that we go through and how we feel during different seasons of our life, what we're expected to be, who we're expected to be, all the things that are placed upon us. And I got to thinking, I was like, wow, like I'm almost 58 and I have recently gone through a major transformation in my life. And I want to put out there like the things that we deem are important throughout our life, starting from a young age when we are conditioned from parents, school, church, society, media, all the things, like all the things that are portrayed to have such importance in our life. It's not true. And it's so hard to get through that space. And I just want to let you guys know, if I walk the walk, I'm going to talk the talk. And I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge under my belt. I have gone through a lot of things. And that's why I created this channel, is to help other women, anybody out there that might have a similar story, but slightly different. We might be like two people in a play, but we have two different stories, but we're all going through the same life journey, trying to figure things out and how to heal and how to learn to come back to our true authentic selves. So when I say don't let fear and shame hold you back, it's as simple as just sitting in silence, sitting in stillness and understanding okay, what kind of fears do I have and what fears hold me back? Now, I can tell you my first 54 years of life, I didn't really know I had so many fears and was living in fear, but I was. And I can clearly see that now looking back. But we have to go through things in order to grow and expand and evolve. So I lived my life out of fear. I was in fear of using my voice, of speaking my words, of speaking how I feel. I was in fear of other people's reactions. I was in fear of rocking the boat. I was in fear of somebody's reaction and possible anger or shunning of me. So I guess I was in fear of abandonment. I didn't want to be abandoned, which stems way back into that inner child wound, which I did talk about on my video of inner child healing. But I had fear. So that blocked me from so many things in my life. I resisted so many things in my life out of fear. And then out of fear, out of shame. So I want to use today as an example. I took myself for a beautiful day at the day spa and I went and had a facial, and I sat by the pool and I read my book and I just laid on the chair and just and I laid there. When I first sat down, I looked around and there's the beautiful pool and there's a bar and there's umbrellas and it's just a beautiful environment and atmosphere. And I have been going there for a lot of years. I've been there a lot more recently since I've made changes in my life. Prior, I used to think, oh man, I could never afford to go there, or I'm not good enough to go there, or I don't love myself and my body. I'm not going to go be in a bathing suit in front of people. I had fear of being laughed at or not looking perfect. And then I would have shame for feeling like that. So it all comes back into a full vicious circle. But today, as I walked outside and I took off my robe and I was in my bathing suit and I sat in my chair and I was sitting there thinking dang, I manifested this. I have come so far in my life and I am so proud of myself and I feel so good and I feel so beautiful on the inside and so content and at peace on the inside, which then is just embodied and it shows on the outside. And I'm sitting there I love me. I'm not embarrassed to sit on this chair and read my book and do nothing. I'm not embarrassed to stand up and walk to the restroom in my bathing suit. And I don't want to put on my robe and hide my body and like walk around like, ugh. Like, no, like I release that fear and that shame. And I can't tell you how enlightening that is and how peaceful and how much weight just comes off the shoulders. When you don't have fear to push into you and say, no, you're not good enough. You're too old. You're too young. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too all the things. And just look that fear in the face when you are thinking about doing something, but then all the subconscious fears come up. Oh no, I couldn't do that. I'm too old. Okay, let's do this example. I'll share this with you. A couple days ago, I did a mud run in a city down the road. And you know, it's a lot of dirt and mud and you're running and you're going over obstacles and you're climbing through things. And I was like excited when I saw the flyer come out. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That sounds really fun. Well, even a year ago, it would have been like, oh no, you know what? The fears came up. I better not do that. I'm almost 57 and I don't want to like fall down and break a hip. I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to look like slow. I don't want to look like the old lady out there with all the young kids trying to be cool. And now this year when the flyer came out, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to challenge myself. I think it would be fun. It's playful. I love to play. I love to be out in nature. And let's go have fun and get money. And I signed up and I went with friends. And it was so fun. And it was so empowering because it was challenging. And I was aware of all the things that could have happened, but I didn't let that fear and my mind stop me. I pushed into it and said like, no. I'm doing this. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to have fun and I'm going to do it. And since I did it and while I was doing it and after I went through every obstacle and just was completely covered in mud and just having the time of my life, I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like, hell yeah. I'm almost 58 and I'm there doing the mud run and I'm climbing up all the obstacles up the wall and going down and being careful not to hurt myself. But like, if we hold on to that fear of like, oh no, I can never do that. Well, how the hell do you know you can't do it? Did you ever try it? Sit with that. And I do say this with love because I was there my whole life. I let everything stop me out of fear. And then I would have shame. And so I can honestly say with 100% truth, when you live in that fear, and you immediately say no to everything because you're too fearful and you don't want to push into that fear, later on, it's going to like fester up and you're going to have so much regret and you're going to think, man, like, you know, one time I was invited to do this and I just let the fear get the best of me and I didn't do it. And I really wonder like what would have happened if I would have done it. And once you succumb to your fear and you never like step out of your comfort zone and push into things, it kind of like puts you in a deeper space inside yourself to where you just kind of like shrivel up and get smaller and smaller and smaller until you're not even anything and you don't feel like you're anything and you're not worth anything and you're not strong enough to do anything and you're not capable of doing anything. But I just want to say to you guys, like, push into that fear and say yes. When the automatic answer of, oh, no, I can never do that. When that comes up and you're feeling those words wanting to come out of your mouth, stop. Take a breath. Feel. Don't think about it. Feel inside your heart, inside your body. Like, what am I feeling? Do I want to do this? Like, how would it feel? And what would happen if I was to say yes? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And so what if it does? Like, everything is temporary. What is the worst thing that could happen? But if you choose to stay living in the fear and saying no and putting up your boundaries, nope, not going to do it, you are not going to evolve. You're not going to grow. You're going to feel shame that you said no because inside your intuition is probably speaking to you and saying, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah, say yes. Don't say no all the time. Stop putting barriers up. Why are we saying no to everything? Yes, we need to have boundaries and personal space and protect our energy, but begin to notice and be aware of your answers, your responses, and most importantly, your feelings inside your gut. When somebody says, hey, you want to do this, or an opportunity arises, or like an unexpected like vacation or unexpected event coming up, or anything on any day comes up that is out of the norm for you, I'm going to offer you to stop and feel into that. Feel into your gut, feel into your heart, and push into that. I can say for the first 54 years of my life, because last 3.5, 4 years I've been healing, and I said no to so many things, and I have so much regret, which then turns into shame. Oh man, I really shouldn't have done that. But I've learned to peel through those layers and release that shame and release that fear and that guilt. Because, you know, as I've mentioned in other videos, everything happens in our lives every day exactly when it was supposed to happen, which is divine timing. And it happens why it's supposed to happen, the way it's supposed to happen. And it might not be fun and clean or healthy or feel good, but it might be. But we have to have those balance of hard times, good times, darkness, light, hard, soft, like all the things. There's got to be balance. Otherwise, we don't grow, we don't evolve. So push into those fears. If there's anything I can help you with in your life, it's like stop saying no, stop selling yourself short, stop dimming your light, stop making yourself small, stop playing small. You're not small. Hi, Mittens. You're a beautiful soul on this earth, and you have the capability and can conquer anything you put your mind to. It's a choice. It's a choice. So as I shared my story about this mud run, it's like, yeah, things scared me. Do I really want to get down on the ground and army crawl underneath these like wires in the mud to get to the other side? Hell yeah. Like that was so empowering and so much fun. Yeah, I got dirty, but what's a little mud gonna do? I took a bath and I'm perfectly fine. And then today I went and got a facial and it's even better. But I had a little fear, but I pushed into it. Climbing up that big old wall, I never go rock climbing or anything because I don't really like heights. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be mindful, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna be aware of my surroundings, and I'm gonna take it easy. I have nothing to prove. I just want to know that I can do it and that I conquered it, and I did. And I'm so excited and I feel so amazing. And so what I can offer you guys is to just stop saying no. Don't live in fear. Don't let that shame hold you back. Say yes. Say yes to everything that is healthy and not toxic and isn't going to hurt you. And you're going to notice your energy change. When you immediately go, no, you can feel your energy tighten and just like shrink. And the vibrations are just like, oh. But if you start to say, yeah, I'll do that. I can do that. Then you're gonna feel those like shoulders going back, the energy rising. You're gonna start to empower yourself. Your mindset's gonna begin to change, and your whole conscious and everything is gonna be like, oh yeah, we got this, we're strong, we can do this. Yeah, we might have to work hard, and it might not be easy, and it might scare the crap out of us. But I'm telling you, when you push into that, and teach yourself and show yourself that you got this, you can do anything you put your mind to, you're gonna feel so beautiful. And you're gonna want that feeling to flow throughout you day and night. And I learned this probably a couple years ago at one of the events I went to, Awaken Your Highest Self, that I have spoke about in my other videos. And you know, when you just are able to just like release and just flow with life and what's going to happen, and just like flow with the river and stop resisting and forcing and trying to control everything, life gets so much lighter and you get lighter and your outlook on life changes, and the heaviness that you feel starts to dissipate. I've seen people with anxiety issues and depression and begin to change their mindset and begin to like push into their fear and the shame and releasing those things. They become well. They lost their depression. They lost their anxiety. It's all like a mindset. And we need to, like, as a collective in this universe, like, quiet our minds and open our hearts. We need to step out of the masculine and come back to the feminine, because that is where you are going to find love, unconditional love for yourself, peace, joy. We don't want to live in fear and guilt and shame. Those are low vibrations, and you can feel that. I say this with love, and it's hard. And one of the ways that we can feel those high vibration, love, joy, peace, freedom, is through pushing into our inner child, healing, pushing into generational trauma, going back and healing that. Loving ourselves, learning to love ourselves, learning to trust ourselves, learning to be okay with who we are at every second of every day in the space that we are in. We are raised and taught to believe that, like, the grass is always greener on the other side, or like the people over there look better than me and I wish I was them. I wish I wasn't this person. I wish I had different parents. I wish I had a different house. I wish my mom was as pretty as that mom, or, you know, all the things that I thought as a kid. Like, I wish I was rich like my friends, or I wish that our car was as expensive as their car, or all the things that we aren't comfortable and content with what we have, and everything on the outward surface looks so much better and such a better life, when in reality, that's a bunch of bullshit. And I can tell you that from experience. The grass is not greener on the other side. I'll tell you what can make your grass greener is going in and healing those inner child wounds, feeling into your heart and trusting your gut and your intuition, balancing out the masculine and the feminine within. We all have divine feminine and divine masculine. It's just not a fact of man or woman. No, it's energetic, and it goes in deep, and it carries a lot of energy and vibrations. And when you can get those masculine and feminine energies in harmony, like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I'm here to, like, be the light, guys. Like, there is light in our world. We are all lights. We are just, a lot of us, most of us are walking around with our dimmed light. We dim our own light. Life dims our light. Traumas, horrific things that take place in our human world that shouldn't happen, and that dims our light. But there's a way around, there's a way through, there's a way back to your light. And I can attest to that because I am living proof of that. I was at a very dark space in my life 4 years ago, and it lasted quite a long time. And in the last 4 years, as I mentioned, I've been on this beautiful journey of healing, and I am here to offer you guys everything that I have been through and to share the tools that I have learned. And one of them is to not let fear and shame hold you back. That's heavy. That's heavy. So when you feel yourself or find yourself or hear yourself going inward into the fear or those self-limiting doubts and beliefs, like, no, I'm this age, I can't do that. No, I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, my hair's the wrong color, I don't make enough money, I have too much money, like, I don't have the backup that I need, or nobody will support, like all the things that we have in our mind that say, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, because we're comfortable where we are. Why would you want to push out of this and go find something new? That's scary. Push into it, get out there, do it. Find something new, try something new, release those heavy burdens that we have placed upon ourselves and that we have learned and that we have like digested and been succumbed to, and they are in our subconscious. Release that, heal that, push into yourself, find your strength, find your inner strength. It's in there. I'm here to remind you guys, you have that inner strength. Everything you need is within. We don't need to be looking outward for anything, even though that we've been taught through religion, schools, parents, all those things, that everything you need is out there. But I'm telling you, that's not the truth. Everything you need is already within. Just need to find it. Sit in stillness. Meditate. Pray. Pray to your God, your source, your higher self, whatever you believe in, and listen to your intuition. Feel into your heart. It's going to come. The answers are there, and they're always talking to us, and your body's always communicating, but we don't listen because we're too busy and we're too fearful and we have too much shame and we have too much guilt. We can release that. We can feel good, guys. And I do say all this with love. I thank you for being here. I'm going to wrap this up today. Thank you for being here. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section. I will respond to you. This is a channel that I have created of light and love, unconditional love for ourselves. We need to come back to our heart, and I want the world to have that feeling of just pure bliss and joy. Namaste.